the 13th of Adar, marks the Hilula of a really great Moroccan rabbi. His name was Rabbi Moshe Malka Z'tl. He passed away approximately 28 years ago from time here of recording, on the 22nd of March in English year 1997. He was born on the 29th of August in the year 1911, it was reported over. So he was approximately 86 years of age at the time he passed away. He was part of the Jewish court in Casablanca in Morocco in a part of his life. He would become the Sephardi rabbi of Taqwa and the author of various great Torah cluster works, and part of the Mouatzot, Rabbanot, Harishit, part of the Israeli rabbinate in of itself. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he actually came from great rabbinic heritage, let's just say. I think he was born actually in the area of Nahar Tujda, I believe. This was in the Atlas Mountains area vicinities in itself in Morocco in the year 1911, and he was born to a great rabbi, Mukubal, Rabbi Yechia Malka, and I think they actually descended from Rabbi Yaakov ibn Malka, who was one of the great rabbis, one of the great judges of Fes, and the chief rabbi, I believe, of Tetuan. Also very, very respectable positions. Remember, we've spoken about these places on various occasions before inside this series, and I'll recommend everyone to look over that. When he was only approximately I believe around 18 years of age, I think come at the year 1929. Very sadly, I believe his father passed away, and then he would move to Rabat. Rabat also had a very great community in its day, and he would actually go to learn inside the Talmud Torah there of the congregation of the Kehillah over there. He would give over Shirei Torah classes, concentrating on the Gemara and Halacha respectively, and was part of the Chevrat Petach Tikva. I think this had, if I'm not mistaken, many 100 plus or hundreds plus people together, numbering 200 young people reported over. I think during this period he would actually receive an ordination to become a shochet, a rabbi that would perform kosher slaughter through his rabbi, who happened to be a head rabbi naturally in Morocco, Rabbi Yoshua Berdugo, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before, the head of the Jewish court. He was, and very much great rabbi of Rabat, respectively. He would have many, many great students, and he had close connection to other great rabbis, including Rabbi Masoud Revach, a rabbi I believe we spoke about only in the last week also, and other great rabbis like Rabbi Chaim Raphael Atiyah, and who was in his day, Rabbi Atiyah happened to be a great rabbi of Rabat in Morocco, and very much so, and great posek halacha, which we must point out. And I think he was very, very close, and would daven, I think, in the synagogue or with Rabbi Berdugo, respectively, especially I think after Shabbat, and Shiurim was given at that point in time. Then come up the year 1947, he would have been about 36 years of age at that point in time. I think Rabbi Yehuda Leon Kalfon, who was, I believe, the head rabbi of Tetuan, which is part of, obviously, in Morocco once again. And there would, I think, other rabbi would actually move over to another city, to the El Kasa, El Kabir. And he would get offered, I think, the position over there to be a head rabbi over there. I think there was close connection also Rav Shlomo Dayan within regards to this specific let's say, positions in of itself. He himself, Rabbi Moshe Dayan, happened to be, I think, a member of the Shas party in the 12th Knesset, and very much this was a position that I think it was suggested very much for Rav Malka to take. I think there was El Kesar, El Kabir, La Arash, and Arezila, those places. And it's actually interesting. I think he would be called eventually back to the capital of Rabat, and would be afterwards ordained as a rabbi, and would teach in the rabbinic seminary, which was run by the chief rabbi of Morocco at that point in time, Rav Shaul ibn Danan, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions. Now, come the year 1953, he was appointed by the government as a rabbi and the rabbi of the cities Bnei Malal and Bujat, I believe. And then I think 2 years after that, he would serve as a member of the Casablanca Bet Din, very prominent position. That was headed by Rav Shalom Meshash, respectively. I think also was connected to Rav Yitzchak Hazan, and the connection to the Bet Din, Rav Rachamim ben Amara, who was another great rabbi who I believe we've spoken about quite recently. Also, he himself happened to become the rabbi of Mazagan and a dine also in Casablanca, and later on the rabbi of the Kiryat Menachem neighborhood and the Ir Ganim in Jerusalem, respectively. Also, Rabbi Haim Raphael Shoshana also would serve as a judge, I believe, in the same court, and he would be there for about 5 years before being appointed the deputy, the Sagan, to Rav Mashash inside the Bet Din. Once again, another very prominent position. He had many different duties with regards to the Jewish court over there, ranging rulings, let's just say, examination with regards to committee, and he would also take precedence with regards to slaughtering, kosher slaughtering, shochet, and bdika, bodek, the examination, also within regards to that. I don't believe he was actually the actual Abbet in itself, head of Jewish court itself, but I think he was at least a deputy, and he was invited to participate in meetings of the Moroccan Rabbinical Court. Once again, another prominent position. Just before the 1967 Six-Day War, I think in the month of Av, he would emigrate to Israel, where he would settle initially in Jerusalem. He would, and it's actually interesting. The whole the Rabbanim in Israel didn't necessarily they might have not necessarily given the validation of smicha from Morocco, rabbinic coordination of Morocco, so well, but I think eventually they would come round, or definitely Chief Rabbi Yitzhak Nissim at the time would recognize, the smicha certificate and appoint him as a member of the rabbinate office in the city of Petah Tikva, while he would be publishing and writing many books. Remember that at that point in time, I'm not too sure exactly the reason why the chief rabbinate did it, but at a window of time, the rabbis that came from Morocco, they would want them to re-examine, not that they weren't brilliant, they didn't have brilliant certificates. I think it was just for protocol position, just to re-examine, but he felt that will be a slight of the honor of the great rabbis from Morocco, because they're very, very much great rabbis. But I would recommend everyone to look into that. Otherwise, I think later on, I think he would be appointed in the year 1975, the Sephardi head rabbi of Petah Tikva, respectively, and that's when he would have been a chief rabbinate council part of itself. There was a whole famous episode that took place between the years 1984 to 1987 called the Heichal Cinema Affair that took place in that point in time, which led to a lot of robust protests because of Chilul Shabbat. So he was very much involved with it, with many of the Sephardi Rabbanim in that area, vicinity, that was protesting it to some degree, and Ashkenazim Rabbanim in of itself. Once again, another topic I would recommend you to look into. It's actually interesting. He had the Shita that one should recite Hallel, or he supported it for sure, on Yom HaAtzmaut, on Independence Day. And he actually wrote or stated that he envied, let's say, the IDF soldiers, and he wanted to be one of them, but because of his age, he couldn't do it. And he expressed, I think in the late 1980s, it was reported over inside Mesibah Sudat Mitzvah, the greatness of the settlement enterprise, and calling for adoption of religious and national views. And there's a whole statement he would say among them. Now, various different great rabbis would ask his halachic opinion on various different halachic issues, including Rabbi Azariah Basis, who halachic arbitrator and chief rabbi of Rosh Ayin and member of the chief rabbinate council of Rosh Ayin, and also the chief rabbi of Elad, Rabbi Moshe Malka, rabbi, a very, very great rabbi who I've got very close to my heart. Him being the chief rabbi of Elad, he would come to my wedding and very much take help within regards to that. Now, I believe he passed away on Shabbat Zachor on the 13th of Adar. We're talking about 28 years ago, on March 22nd, 1997. He would be buried in Segula, a cemetery in Petah Tikva. I believe commemorations were named after him, including a street named after him in Petah Tikva. And I think various different municipal awards on Torah literature, he was recognized, I think, in his memory. Now let's explore a few of the Torah colossal works that he wrote, including Mikvah Hamayim, which was a Tshuvot answers book, which was divided in 6 sections. It was a shut and halakha, shelot shivot, question and answers. I think it would be printed in Jerusalem. Then there was Natzvei Hamayim, which is drashot ve'noimim. This was in 2 sections, I think, printed once again in Jerusalem. Lema'an HaShabbat, another great work of Heshiv Moshe, which shelot and shivot within regards to dat and din. Let's just say in of itself, very great book. The Be'er Moshe, which is Biurim and Chidushim on the Pesukim and the Parshiot of the Shavuot, the 5 books of Moses, respectively, Darash Moshe Drashot, or the Parshat Shavuot, the Pnei Moshe, which was Drashot and Hagaot of the Paskim of the Shuvot, I think from based on the Likut of Rabbi Moshe Amar. Interesting enough, also. But he was very much a very great rabbi of his day. He passed away 28 years ago. Please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear. If you happen to be related to any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you feel anyone will be interested in watching these videos, share the videos to other people. So wishing you well and take care.